Tszyu, who has a perfect record of 23-0 with 17 knockouts, takes after his father, Tszyu, who held the title of undisputed junior welterweight champion for a number of years.
And look for that shot, like that right there.
There are certain characteristics that have been handed down from father to son, but when Tim is in the ring, he has his own unique style. But he also has his father's old school. The next big thing in boxing, Tim Tszyu. Before becoming professional in late 2016, Tszyu won 32 of the 33 competitions he entered as an amateur. He surrounded himself with some of the same individuals who worked with his father, such as Igor Golubev, who was also Tim's uncle, and Glenn Jennings, who he had known for a very long time and who he confided in. Kostya, on the other hand, has never been seen around his son's nook in any significant manner. It was done on purpose. The father didn't want to put any further pressure, so he remained in Russia to let his son find his own way. This is in contrast to many renowned boxing dads who, to be honest, smother their boys and make certain circumstances about themselves because they don't want to give up the limelight. But in this case, the father let the son find his own way. As Tszyu worked his way up the rankings, he maintained his activity level and continued to work on developing and improving his game. He was on the cusp of making his big debut when COVID-19 struck, which forced him to sit out for a number of months before he could make his debut. When he reappeared in August 2020, he defeated former welterweight champion Jeff Horn in 8 rounds. This victory forced Horn, who had previously defeated Manny Pacquiao, to retire from the sport. Notable victories followed, including ones against Dennis Hogan by TKO in round 5 and iron-jawed Takeshi Inoue by unanimous decision in round 12. Thus, Tszyu traveled to the United States and competed against the well-known Terrell Gausha. It turned out to be a fascinating educational opportunity. The fighter was forced to rise off the mat in the first round and make changes in order to pull off an unexpectedly difficult unanimous decision victory after 12 rounds. At that time, Tszyu was scheduled to be Charlo's next opponent. In addition, 2 months later, Charlo became the undisputed 28th, 2023. On the other side, Charlo fractured his hand around 1 month before the match. Tszyu was becoming dissatisfied with how long it was taking for the battle to take place, so he chose to engage in his career. Thereby, his standing as the leading challenger for Charlo's title at 154 pounds was bolstered as a result of this win. Will it be Charlo in the upcoming fight? The honest response is not really at all, because there has been no response whatsoever from the champion. Charlo was given till September by the WBO to defend his title against Tszyu, according to the organization's announcement. After then, it was revealed that Tszyu would compete against Ocampo. He was a worthy adversary in the contest. Ocampo had been quite steady up until Errol Spence Jr. knocked him out. But other than that, he had been pretty good. And it was anticipated that he would not win, but at the very least he would contribute rounds. After Tszyu was severely bitten by a pit bull in late May 2023, the fight's viability was called into question, which added an additional element of mystery to the situation. However, Tszyu acted swiftly to dispel and soothe their anxieties, and he proclaimed that the combat would continue as planned. Tszyu has been active and has participated in 2 fights, but Charlo has been idle for the last 13 months, and there's no sign of his comeback in sight within his current weight class. It is reasonable to assume that Charlo-Tszyu may not happen at all, but anything may happen in the future. Perhaps Charlo will give up his WBO championship or be stripped of it, allowing another fighter to challenge him for the other belts he currently has. Or it's possible that he moves up in weight classes. It's our sincere hope that none of those things come to pass. As a bout between Charlo and Tszyu, 2 fighters who like exchanging blows and being physical in the ring, would be an astonishing bout. Tszyu told Ben Damon of Fox Sports Australia after he had just pummeled Ocampo.
Where's my 4 belts?
I've got this WBO interim belt, but I'm not satisfied. I want all 4 world titles. However, it's not only the belts. I simply just want the name Charlo on my resume. Both fighters have dark sides that allow them to perform at their best when they're being pushed inside the ring, which is what makes this possible matchup so interesting. Forward to seizing his chance as soon as it presents itself. Promoter expects Tim Tszyu to maintain his active schedule. It was recently revealed that undisputed super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo, 35-1-1 and 19 KOs, would move up to the super middleweight division on September 30th to fight undisputed super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez. Because of this fight, Charlo will not have to face WBO mandatory challenger Tim Tszyu, 23-0 and 17 KOs, in the autumn. Rose on Charlo's decision to compete against Canelo in the ring. Any man in boxing presented with the opportunity to fight Canelo has to seriously consider or take it, stated Rose of Charlo's choice to face Canelo. It's a chance for one of the biggest payday fights and the chance to make history by defeating one of the greatest fighters of this generation, who has arguably been the face of boxing ever since Floyd Mayweather finished. He added, "The thing that is most infuriating for us is that we are aware that Tim is prepared, and the opportunity to become the undisputed champion of the world has been presented to very few guys, and the fight against Charlo was that opportunity." On January 28th of this year, Tszyu was scheduled to compete against Charlo, but Charlo's hand was fractured. Therefore, he was unable to compete on that date or in June, which was another month that had been considered for the bout. Rose on Tszyu going forward. Rose shared with Raphael that the current strategy involves maintaining Tszyu's active status. In light of the revelation that Canelo would be fighting Charlo, the governing organizations have not yet provided any clarity about the championship status at 154 pounds. Since Tszyu is the current holder of an interim version of the WBO belt, he would automatically succeed in the position of champion in the organization in the event that the WBO championship was to become vacant. "Tszyu wants his next fight locked away and wants to keep fighting," stated Rose. "He is not cut out for the sedentary lifestyle of a boxer, so we shouldn't be surprised if we see him in the ring again soon, and then again and again as he continues to battle his way through the industry's top competitors." He added, "The best part about Tim Tszyu is that you'll get the opportunity to see him perform 4 times a year, because he has his mind made up and is prepared to try again." Please let us know in the comment section below if you agree with the video that predicts Tim Tszyu will be the next great thing in boxing, and provide the reasoning behind your prediction if you do. And that wraps things up. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this